Welcome to History's Hidden Weird, the podcast where the footnotes get the spotlight and the stories are stranger than fiction, because they are fiction's weirder, wilder cousin, fact. I'm your host, Quinn Strange. And today, we're sailing back to the early 1800s, to the edge of the British Empire, to a place considered uninhabitable, unknowable, and unforgiving, the Australian coast. This is the story of a convict who escaped the British penal system, literally in a box, and then vanished into the wilderness. He wasn't found for over 30 years. His name was William Buckley, and the tale of his survival among the Aboriginal people, and his strange, ghost-like return to colonial life decades later, is a legend that blurs the lines between man and myth. This is the prisoner who escaped in a box. Let's dig in. Let's rewind to the year 1803. The British Empire is running out of room for its convicts. The prisons are overflowing, the gallows are busy, and the solution? Ship the unwanted across the world. Australia, a place the British saw as wild, empty, and punishable by distance. Among the hundreds of convicts sentenced to transportation was William Buckley, a 6'5" bricklayer from Cheshire. He'd served in the Napoleonic Wars, but got caught up in a robbery. Maybe guilty, maybe not, doesn't matter. He was sentenced to 14 years and put aboard a convict ship called Calcutta. Destination, Port Phillip, now known as Melbourne. The settlement was barely clinging to survival. Poor food, bad morale, isolation. It was the edge of the known world. And Buckley? He wasn't planning to stay. In December 1803, shortly after arrival, Buckley and a small group of convicts made a break for it. Now, here's where history and legend start to wrestle. Some say he escaped into the bush on foot. Others claim he stowed away in a supply crate, literally escaping in a box, smuggled ashore or hidden aboard a departing vessel. The box part is debated, but either way, he vanished into the untamed Australian wilderness. The others died or were caught. But not Buckley. He kept going, hungry, lost, exhausted. He wandered for days. And just as death seemed inevitable, he saw something strange. A group of Wathaurong people, a local Aboriginal group. They didn't kill him. They didn't run. Instead, they welcomed him. Here's the strange twist. The Wathaurong had a prophecy about the return of a dead warrior. When Buckley appeared, gaunt and ghostly, holding a spear he'd found near a grave, they believed this white-skinned man might be their fallen relative reborn. They took him in. And Buckley, with no way back to the British, became one of them. For 32 years, he lived among the Wathaurong. He learned their language, their customs, their land. He married. He fought in tribal conflicts. He forgot English. He became a kind of myth himself, the white spirit man who walked with ghosts and spoke with thunder. Colonial outposts assumed he was dead. And in a way, he was. William Buckley had disappeared into another world. And he might have stayed there forever if history hadn't taken a sharp turn. In 1835, over 3 decades after Buckley vanished, Europeans returned to Port Phillip to establish a new colony. Buckley saw them from a distance and made a decision that would change everything. He walked out of the bush, approached the settlers, and spoke. Broken, barely coherent English came out of his mouth. They stared. He looked like a ghost. They thought he might be a wild man, or an escaped lunatic. But he told them who he was. William Buckley. Convict. Survivor. Bushman. And incredibly, they believed him. He was granted a pardon for his escape. Offered work as an interpreter between the colonists and Aboriginal people. For a while, he tried to live in both worlds. But it didn't last. He no longer belonged anywhere. To the British, he was a curiosity, useful but alien. To the Wathoran, his return to white society felt like betrayal. He drifted. First to Hobart. Then eventually, into obscurity. Today, William Buckley is a legend. A tall tale. A ghost in Australia's colonial dreamscape. You might have heard the Aussie phrase, "You've got Buckley's chance." It means you've got no chance at all. But think about that. Buckley's chance kept him alive in a world designed to kill him. He survived one of the harshest terrains on Earth without tools, without allies, and without a plan. He adapted. He respected the land and the people who lived on it. And then, he returned to a world that didn't know what to do with him. A man who crossed the border between colonizer and colonized, between empire and exile, and came back changed. William Buckley didn't just escape a prison. He escaped a civilization. And when he came back, neither he nor the world was quite the same. His story is a reminder that survival isn't always about strength. Sometimes, it's about surrender. About listening. About becoming something other. And maybe, in the end, that's why his legend lives on, not just because he escaped, but because he adapted. He became the ghost that haunted the edges of two cultures. This has been History's Hidden Weird. I'm Quinn Strange. Thanks for listening. Stay curious. Stay kind. Stay wonderfully weird.